What is up, everyone, and thank you for joining me here on this video today. But to get straight to the point, unless you've been living under a rock, you've 100% heard of the Chris Tyson controversy that's recently been going on. And I say controversy with quotes because Chris Tyson has come out as transgender, and this has started an absolute warfare on the entire internet and just absolutely divided everyone. And I want to go in depth and explain for those of you who don't know the situation thoroughly and want to know more about it, and also to give a little bit of my take, but we will get into that towards the end of the video. But for now, let's take a dive into exactly what's going on and properly explain it. Now, for those of you who are clicking on this video and don't know who Chris Tyson is a member of the MrBeast squad or team. And while MrBeast is obviously a YouTuber who's massive, the biggest on the platform, he needs no introduction. Now, the world found out about Chris's new personal decision on April 5th when he ended up tweeting out about him taking HRT. Now, for those of you who don't know what HRT is hormone replacement therapy, which is a treatment used to relieve the symptoms of a menopause, which can pretty much balance out or just change your hormones if you're a male, which is something, of course, you use if you are transgender in your transition. Now, Chris ended up tweeting out exactly, informed consent HRT saved my and many others' lives. The hurdles GNC people have to jump through to get life-saving, gender-affirming healthcare in a first-world country is wild. Just let people make informed decisions about their own body. Now, of course, there was an insane amount of support under this tweet that Chris made from MrBeast himself, saying, "Got you. I did one more heart than Carl because I'm a better friend," which obviously we already know MrBeast's humor. He's a goofy guy, and I mean that with obvious all due respect. Now, the tweet that Chris made about them and HRT was on their personal account and not their main. And well, this is when all hell breaks loose, and this controversy really takes an interesting turn. Because before Chris came out and said, you know, I am taking this hormone therapy, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, people already started to notice a change in Chris's appearance. And well, a Twitter user by the name of @Lublix tweeted out, "Bro, WTF happened," with a picture of Chris from a few years ago and currently. And this is when all hell breaks loose, because on Chris's main account, they ended up responding saying HRT, and it's only been 2 months, and then it was instantly up from here. Everybody found out about this, and it started getting insane mainstream coverage, articles being made on it, and everybody on Twitter going in a fucking frenzy about this. Now, if you look at the comments on Chris's quote tweet to this original tweet, you think it's World War III, because the amount of warfare going on is insane. There's people saying, "Chris, you are an absolute evil person. Chris, I'm so proud of you. Chris, I don't know how to feel about this. You're not a man anymore. You're a loser," and just crazy shit. And this was just the beginning, because a lot of people started to say that Chris would not be a good parent and is absolutely not fit to be a parent due to this transition. And this started an absolute fucking uproar, because this became one of the main topics of discussion. And stick around, because we're not even into the nitty-gritty just yet. We're just scratching the surface. Now, this whole thing about Chris being a terrible parent just became absolutely huge, and Chris was forced to respond, because Chris ended up saying, "This is just more dog whistling that somehow trans and GNC folks aren't safe around kids. Tucker begs for me to come back when I leave for like 2 days to film. He is so loved and happy. Kids aren't born with hate. It's taught by people like you, and my child will only know love." And this was in response to a tweet pretty much saying that Chris is not fit to be a parent, and no kid should have a parent that transitions at such a young age. And for the most part, people were absolutely in support of Chris. But only just 2 days ago is when things really started to shift for Chris negatively, and people started to really dogpile on Chris. And that's what we're going to be transitioning into next. Now, there was a tweet made that was captioned, "Bro, what did I do?" by a Twitter user with the @Yacht6, with a screenshot of Yacht6 tweeting out, "Old Chris would make fun of new Chris," and then Chris proceeding to DM Yacht6 saying, "Hey, @Yacht6, I saw this tweet from you today and wanted to say my lawyers will be in contact with you shortly with a court notice for defamation. Don't know why you or anyone would tweet something so hatred towards anyone on the internet. It's blatantly disgusting. See you soon. Don't be scared now." And Yacht6, of course, responds, "What the fuck, confused." And then Chris ended up quote tweeting this tweet with, "My lawyer will be in contact with you immediately," in a picture of MrBeast. Now, this is for some reason what started to trigger people to dogpile on Chris, and this is where the war really fucking starts, because the comments of this is just, "I think the hormones are kicking in, you're losing it, you're off a perk." But this is where Chris makes a mistake and gives in to trolls on Twitter and ends up making themselves look absolutely idiotic, because Yacht6 ends up tweeting out, "Bro thought I was joking with with a screenshot of Chris DMing Yoxic once again, saying, "By the way, I forgot to DM you, but that tweet was funny as fuck. Hope it didn't get you any extra heat. I thought people would get I was leading into the joke, but now I got family members asking if some random article about me suing you and that other guy are real, Lamau." Classic Twitter.com users not understanding concepts of a joke. All love to you though. And then Yoxic responds, "I wasn't joking. I do not fuck with you." Now Chris ends up responding, "Def fuck with me enough to leech off the cloud of me coming out, Lamau. All good though. Don't fuck with you either. Glad I could give you your 15 seconds then, Lamau." Which, okay, I'm fine with. Yoxic is obviously being an asshole because you went and made a tweet about someone who obviously acknowledged that they found your tweet was funny. You then proceed to be an asshole for more Twitter likes. So, I mean, I don't fuck with that personally. These Twitter trolls get way too comfortable and feel invincible behind their fucking keyboards and feel like they can say whatever they want. So, do I agree with this? No. But this is where Chris ends up taking it a little bit too far, and I don't really know if I could defend this, and this is where people really get triggered because Yoxic responds to the screenshot Chris posted of Chris messaging Yoxic saying ratio, and Chris responds to this guy saying ratio by saying, "Ratio this and then we will talk," with a picture of Chris wiring $1 million to what I'm assuming is their bank account. Now everything was fine. Everybody would have agreed with Chris if Chris would have just kept money out of this whole entire situation. And this is where a lot of creators make the mistake. You can be in the right, but all you need to do is give people one reason to hate you, one singular reason, and you can say goodbye. Because this is exactly what this did, and this fueled the fire for people to dogpile on Chris. But this started a damn warfare. Just this simple screenshot of $1 million being wired to a bank account, and people are commenting, "You're flexing $1 million because your friend is rich," and all this shit. It was it's war. Now that we've covered the catalyst of people starting to hate Chris, let's talk about the MrBeast leaks and people bringing MrBeast into the transitioning of Chris, saying that this is the end of the MrBeast team. Now recently MrBeast started to get dragged into this entire Chris drama when there was some screenshots leaked of apparently MrBeast talking about how they have to keep Chris on the team to not only save the brand of MrBeast, but also keep the MrBeast brand from getting canceled, as it would look transphobic if they up and kicked Chris from the team because they came out. Now these screenshots read, "I don't hate Jimmy, but he is a two-face. He pretends like he's doing it all to make people happy, but it's just a business for him. He'll push anything as long as it makes money. He wants to get into politics. There's more. I'm tired of playing along. I know this will out me, but I don't care. For more proof I am who I say I am, send me an email. I'm not going to check this post because frankly I don't like this place," with the random email, and they sign this off with sayonara. Now these screenshots end up reading, "Hey, please listen to me very carefully. We have to support Chris. Like, it is critical to the business. Creators have been canceled for less," crying emoji. Then the said person who leaked these messages says, "I'll do my best," which ends up getting hearted by MrBeast. They also continue to say, "To be honest, it's just weird when he comes in wearing a dress and acting like a completely different person." MrBeast responds, "I know, there is an adjustment period, but we need to be completely supportive, even if it is awkward. We need to keep up our views, our conversions. This is a business. You're not alone in your feeling. I'm working it out with her, but just keep the status quo for now." Now this obviously caused a fucking uproar and made people absolutely dogpile MrBeast too, which is absolutely mind-boggling to me because this was a personal life decision of Chris. This is something that made Chris happy, and this is something that Chris wants to do, and I 100% support it, and I'm pretty sure MrBeast 100% supports it too, which we'll get into because these screenshots are apparently fake, because the internet can't find a middle ground. They can't hate one person for a dumbass reason. They have to hate another person too, and it seems for the past few months people have just been trying to find a reason to dogpile on MrBeast and claim he's doing some of the most out-of-pocket shit that doesn't even make sense. But my personal opinion aside, these got exposed to be fake. People came out and posted proof that these screenshots were fake, but the damage was unfortunately already done and people were already sending hate over to MrBeast. But what we're going to be transitioning to next is a YouTube video that absolutely turned this situation upside down and made everybody come together to support Chris and MrBeast because of how absolutely insane this video was.
Ryan with Chapo, we got a Trico, we getting that cake.
Now a YouTuber I'm pretty sure most of you watching this video are familiar with is SunnyV2. SunnyV2 is known for his documentary-esque videos on many topics on the internet that may cater to mainstream media, YouTube drama, YouTubers in general, but he is very well known for his videos and, you know, how high quality they are perceived to be, but also how he has the occasional video that everybody hates. And while SunnyV2 ended up dropping a video this morning titled "Why Chris Will Soon Be a Nightmare for MrBeast," MrBeast. Now, this video has around 1 million views in 9 hours, which has caused an absolute uproar due to the contents and the nature of this video. Now, the title alone is a little bit of a stretch because, how will Chris be a nightmare for MrBeast? People are gonna move on from the situation in a few weeks and accept that Chris is not the Chris that they're used to and has changed, which is nothing wrong with that. But Sunny V2 ended up digging himself in a bit of a hole because he made it seem like MrBeast absolutely hates Chris for what has happened and will become a problem for the MrBeast brand in the future. Now, I'm gonna play a few clips from this video to give some context as to exactly what's happened, and you can perceive for yourself what you want to from these clips that I will play.
Never too late to start being yourself, which received praise from MrBeast as well as Nolan and Carl. However, these comments also added extra fuel to the fire. In a few years, look back at this thread and remember they were never your friends. Only yes men cowards. Hope you come out of this safe. MrBeast responded to this with a simple opinion irrelevant ratio, to which the original commenter would state, "I have 30 followers, so go ahead and ratio me. I'll still rest easy knowing that I'm not a coward who idly sits by watching my friend ruin his own life." In some ways, it was nice to see the boys standing up for Chris on Twitter. However, the situation has already begun to change the dynamic within the video, becoming even weirder when each member started to pay each other compliments.
Hey, nice shirt. Thanks, dude. Nice shirt.
Hey, nice shirt.
Thanks, dude. Nice shirt.
Thanks. Nice shirt.
Nice shoes.
For the most part, the live stream was devoid of awkward moments. However, it would act as fodder for another 100 million views worth of drama and criticism. And Jimmy implies that this will be the new normal within the content, thus annoying a different group of people, many of whom will never express their true feelings and may rather simply click on fewer MrBeast videos. If this is the case, Jimmy has no option but to accept this fate, as removing Chris from the videos in any kind of way could create an even more severe media firestorm.
Now, as you can see, the nature of this video, obviously, it's not, let's just say, the most logical to use in a situation like this. For one, MrBeast and Chris have been best friends for years before this entire thing happened, obviously. So why do you think MrBeast would automatically gain some form of hatred because his friend wants to do something that makes them genuinely happy? Little bit of a stretch from Sunny V2 there, and to say the whole video isn't a stretch is a bit of a stretch in itself because the entire video is indeed a stretch. And as a person who watches Sunny V2's videos, I gotta admit when people are wrong, and this video was just, you know, it was a little goofy. Now, the absolute dogpiling that Sunny V2 received on Twitter is absolutely insane. As soon as this video dropped, you best believe everybody on Twitter was tweeting about that shit, rightfully so. So much so to the point where MrBeast himself responded to this situation, talking about how absolutely stupid it is that people genuinely believe he's gonna hate his best friend over a personal life decision. And MrBeast responds by saying, "Yeah, this is getting absurd. Chris isn't my nightmare, he's my fucking friend, and things are fine. All this transphobia is starting to piss me off." Which is obviously something that I completely agree with. Why the hell would you drop your best friend because they may come out and do something that people may find to be stupid, or what people may not find, or what people may not agree with? What this entire Chris situation has taught me is how the internet is too focused on everybody else's life. If Chris wants to go and identify as a horse, who cares? That has nothing to do with you, and you need to focus on whatever the hell you got going on in life. We all got our own things, we all got our own problems, our own differences. Who the fuck truly cares? If you go and hate the next person because they want to do something you don't agree with, if they're a skin color, if they're a race, if they're a gender, I feel like you may be one of the dumbest people on earth. What someone else does with their life has jack shit to do with you, and we all need to focus on what the fuck we got going on. This Chris situation should teach you all a valuable lesson, and that's that you can't please everybody. You can be the nicest person on earth, you can give millions of dollars away like MrBeast, and people will still hate you for a reason. They'll still make up lies about you and manipulate things to make it seem like you're a bad person, when in reality you're not that person at all, and that no matter what you do, whether it's for personal reasons or for reasons to please everybody else, they're still gonna hate you. So don't give a fuck. Do what you want to do. If you want to transition and you want to be transgender, that is fine. If you are a straight person, that is fine. If you are a black person, that is fine. If you are a white person, that is fine. Do whatever you want, be who you want to be, and that is the moral of the story with this Chris situation. But hopefully that educated you guys on the situation and hopefully summarizes it the best I can. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. I'm going to be coming out with videos like this more. If you want me to talk about big stuff like this situations, let me know. And yeah, I love you guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.